Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dream Team Tonic podcast. My name is Scott, and for tonight's episode, it's the usual gang. Tony, how you doing, mate?
Good evening, mate. All good. Had an upgrade on my beer this week. My mate Charlie's been on about what's going on in that Stella. So I thought I'd upgrade from the 4.6 Stellas, and we've got to the 5% Heineken. Just make sure these decisions are getting a little bit better. Cheers, Charlie.
Hey, you're not getting sponsored by Beer 52 now. You don't have to start telling us what you're doing.
Oh, the good old days.
But if Heineken are interested, you know.
Yeah.
And Ben, how you doing, mate?
If Carlsberg did podcasts, it'd be the greatest podcast in the world.
You good?
Yeah, I'm not bad, mate. You?
Nice one. Yeah, mate. I'm good. North London derby won. I thought I'd put this red light on just to make it a bit Arsenal looking, but I'm looking a bit like I'm in a window in Amsterdam, aren't I? Really?
Yeah.
You do a little bit actually.
I might have to switch it off. But
have to get the bidding going in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. I'll move off that quickly.
You'll be on the ferry with Ten Hag.
I'm going to move on. I'm going to say something dodgy. Right, where are we? Streaming live to our Patreon members over on YouTube. If you're interested in joining the Patreon, there's a link in the description below. Graham's joining us in the chat. We've got Gaz Paul and Owen Higgins joining us currently. Let us know if you're listening. I can see there's a few lurkers that have not let us know they're in the comments. So give us a shout out in the comments box. Right, let's kick it off. Game week 33. Top point scorers so far. Who would have ever thought that we'd have Anthony at the top of the list? We're going to have to do something about that in this second off. Just anything that jumps out, Tony?
I mean, Isak doing the business against Sheffield United. I know when on the deadline stream there were quite a few that were speaking about Isak. I know there's quite a few that put him in. So well done. You got your nice little haul, 15 points, which could, easily beat quite a lot of the doublers. So, yeah. And I think they've got a double coming up as well, haven't they? So, yeah, good choice.
Yeah, Burnley away next week as well. Could be one. It's a hard one, isn't it, though? Where people were recommending or asking our opinion on Isak, and as good as he was, it felt wrong to bring in someone that wasn't doubling, didn't it?
Yeah, it does. And as well, Isak and Wilson being the same boat. It's like they never fit. They never seem to be fit. They seem to alternate. So Wilson come back from injury. You're expecting an Isak injury, aren't you? It's just the way it's worked all season.
I definitely have seen quite a few teams with him in, though. So hope we didn't put anyone off because, he's done pretty well. What about you, Ben?
Quite a few people were talking between Isak and Son, weren't it? So
yeah, Son
still has another game to go, so he could overtake the Isak points. But yeah, so far so good for Isak, and Burnley next. But Son has 2 more games, so could equal out. Yeah, Gvardio again, another goal.
Yeah,
he's got the taste, didn't he? Got the taste for it.
Yeah, 14 points. That's 3 goals in the last month now, isn't it? So looking like a good option. Jared Bowen's back fit. He scored 14 points.
Yeah,
and then got an assist.
I think I saw that was most headed goals in the Premier League this season from Bowen.
Yeah,
leaps like a salmon, doesn't he?
He's tiny. Should be winning them headers.
What about your mate Kai Havertz again?
Scores again, don't he? I was talking to my mate about this. What was the debate at the start of the season? Wasn't it sort of who's got the better signing, Havertz, Maddison, or Mount? I think we can declare it now, can't we? I think it's a bit unfair on Mount potentially.
It's not unfair on Mount. Something's gone wrong, hasn't they? Something went wrong at Chelsea. United got stung and bought somebody. I don't know what's going on with him.
Maddison has had his fair share of injuries as well, hasn't he? But he did look off it today, I thought.
I was going to say,
Sorry, man.
I was going to say that Maddison was on form, and then he had an injury, and he doesn't look on the ball at the moment. And if he wants to get in that England squad, he needs to pull his finger out again.
Yeah.
Yeah, very likely playing through an injury, I think.
Yeah.
Maddison.
Touching on Havertz, though, is I think if we rewind to the start of the season and our judgment on that transfer is probably have Arsenal overpaid, possibly, for somebody who was so out of form and looked so lacklustre at Chelsea, to be fair. But I think we did discuss this. I'm pretty sure I won't have slagged Havertz off because there is a player in there. You look at his stats at Leverkusen, he was unbelievable. So, yeah, is Arteta finally, is he going to be the man that gets him back to his best? Because he's looking really good at the minute. He's dangerous. He looks dangerous. Like when the ball goes to him, his positions he's taking up, he's really good. He's leading that line really well. Even
that offside goal, like he scored, didn't he? And he was ruled out in this game as well. Just seeing him take his chances. Because one thing I would say about him, he's been brilliant. But you can tell he is a confidence player, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, definitely.
His head can drop, and he's on a good run. So you mentioned the England squad, Ben, but Anthony Gordon's made the list as well. 10 points.
Yeah.
2 assists in that game.
You flagged him up as well, Ben, didn't you, on the live? You said about people going for Isak. You said you fancied Gordon too.
Yeah, is it. So he's still only one game where he hasn't got an attacking return at home this season. It's unbelievable, really.
Yeah, good player.
We'll move on to the top 1K ownership. We did cover this briefly. We do a deadline stream every weekend, or bar the one where we were working the other day, but every weekend. Always quite good fun. Ollie Watkins jumped up to 94.9% owned in the top 1K. This is from ffstuff.co.uk. Really, really handy. Anything that stands out massively? We thought that it probably would be Watkins and Palmer, the big jumps. Anything that stands out?
The Haaland dropped down to 45%, is a big one. And we didn't know if he was going to be starting, did we? So it was a tricky one. But you decided to sell him, and we decided to keep him. But on the flip side, we had to sell Saka to keep Haaland. So it's a tricky weekend.
It was hard to work out, really, because I was trying to look at it, and I feel like I have come out of it sort of up on the situation. I took him out. I was terrified after, because it was just literally after the deadline passed that news come out that his friends and family have all put him back in and captained him.
Captained him and stuff.
And I was like, crap, I've made a big mistake here. And I was texting you boys when I saying, I think I've made a mistake here. Even more pictures came out, didn't they, earlier today? I think it was, of Haaland training. And I was like, Jesus, this is not good. But I bought Son in for him, and they both ended up on pretty much the same points, a goal each. But Son's got one to play, but it would have been Saka for me that I would have taken out. So
I'm just hoping longer term it's saved me a transfer, and I've got the 2 extra games at Haaland. Probably wouldn't hold Saka through to the end anyway. So that's what I was going to do anyway.
Saka's done the business, hasn't he, for the people that held him. Great score this week. But I mean, everyone's going to want Haaland back now, aren't they? Come off the bench, scored a goal. He actually looked quite dangerous. I know, obviously, Forest were trying to go for it, and I'll tell you what, they're unlucky. Forest, very unlucky. They could have just finished a few of their chances. They'd have took some up today, but
Chris Wood, a Spurs fan, apparently. That's what they're saying.
Well, it seems like it, doesn't
it? We'll mention back onto Haaland and the news on Phil Foden a bit later in the talking points, because we had a bit of a strange lineup again, didn't we, from City? But I think that's pretty much everything that stands out. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes, high ownership still from last week. Kevin De Bruyne is still pretty high up. Son, 24%. Did you think there'd be more or less than that? Probably about right, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's about as we thought. Obviously, they've got a few games on the Spurs now. They've gone most of the last few weeks, and some weeks they've just not even had a game, and they've singled a lot. They've not really been like a batch of games you could actually attack with Spurs this season. So
we'll it's in the talking points as well, so I won't go too deep into it. But aren't you a bit surprised that Salah staying at 44%? Because we did get that early news that he was benched. So do you think that's a case of some people didn't see the news?
Yeah, probably a bit of that, and a bit of maybe taking out elsewhere. Obviously, 2 transfers. Maybe other people had other things to sort or other players they wanted in. But yeah, I think that's going to go lower this week, definitely.
What about Salah and Klopp falling out on the sidelines?
It's not good, is it? What did Salah say as well? Can anyone remember the quote?
Something like, "If I speak, there will be fire," or something like that.
We'll have to wait for his book. There'll be a book coming out or something, won't there?
There was a longer video on it.
Was there?
And from one of the West Ham fans from further up were obviously filming whilst they were getting ready to be subbed and all that stuff. And it shows that Klopp goes to Salah to shake his hand, and Salah shakes his hand, but just a quick shake of his hand, and then there's an exchange, and then that's where it starts from. He then goes to Nunes and is it Gomez who were coming on as well, shakes their hand and gives him a cuddle. So I think Klopp had got upset that Salah weren't giving him a cuddle. But I think what Salah were trying to say is, "You've left me on the fucking bench, man." I genuinely, he's probably if there is a little bit of beef between them, whatever it is, because Salah's leaving, Klopp's going as well. I mean, you've got one of the world's best players, and you're benching him in absolute must-win games. Now, I think Salah feels like he's been made to be a scapegoat for Liverpool's inability to win these big games and dropping off, obviously, in the title race. If he feels blamed, he's not going to be all pally with Klopp. So, yeah, Klopp's got upset that he didn't give him a hug. I wouldn't give him a hug either.
Did you hear they asked Darwin Núñez? They asked Darwin Núñez, did he hear anything?
And he just went, "¿Qué? No sé. I don't know.
No comprende.
No comprende. No speak English."
Nah, he missed it.
He missed it.
Top 1K transfers transferred in. Ollie Watkins, as we said, and Cole Palmer. I think they were the 2 obvious picks this week.
Yeah.
And then Son again, just outside, which all 3 teams had double game weeks this week. Ezri Konsa, do you think people just 16% brought him in? Do you think people were just going more heavy on the attacking?
Yeah, I had them 2 transfers, Watkins and Konsa, penciled in. And then I thought, go on, take the risk. Don't go safe with Konsa back. Just bring in a striker. So I brought in Nicholas Jackson instead.
I was hoping you were going to have your Michael Jackson costume on.
Oh, yeah, well, he might get a hat-trick midweek, so it might be
still one more game to go. Let us know in the chat.
Yeah,
sorry, next week, yeah. No.
Yeah, Tony said on the live stream, if he scores a hat-trick this week, he's going to come on dressed as Michael Jackson, aren't you?
I said if he scored 3 across the 2 games.
Oh, right. Okay,
he had 1 disallowed, hit the post, trying his best to get me to get old Jackson-fied.
comment below what Michael Jackson costume you want Tony to be wearing. Do you want him in the Thriller costume? Maybe Beat It, the Bo Selector version of Michael Jackson. Have I got this wrong here? Most transferred out here. Salah, 55.3%. And then Haaland, 29.3%. So, yeah, the Haaland one, I was a little bit relieved about the Haaland dropping down to, I think it was like 46% owned, wasn't it? In the top 1K. Yeah. So I felt a bit like if it did go off, it's only sort of half people owned him, and then no one would have captained either, as we'll see in the next graph. But anything else that stands out there? Luis Diaz owners probably would have been a bit annoyed. He done all right.
136 Saka owners.
Ooh.
How does
that one feel? Is it both of you?
Yep.
Yeah, it's tough, but it is what happens. I've not had it as hard as last week. Last week was punishing. But yeah, Jackson's disallowed goal and hitting the post stings a little bit.
And then that's the
criminal.
And then Eze down to 3.7 after his nice double, but obviously out injured. On to captaincy. What did we all go the same in the end? I went Palmer.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Unanimous.
How did he? He should have scored that 1-on-1 last minute.
Oh, I thought that was going to do it for us because he was pretty quiet the whole game, wasn't he? In the end.
Yeah. To be fair, second half Chelsea, they were pretty good. That's probably the best I've seen Chelsea all season.
Fair play, they are fighting for it, aren't they? They're not. I know they were well poor against Arsenal, but they did have a bit of fight about them. Their heads could have fully dropped, couldn't they, in that game?
I'd definitely like to see them keep hold of Pochettino, like have the summer with that team and that squad, because they've got Summit. They've got Summit there. Obviously, I know they spent a lot of money and they should have Summit there, but I just think a summer together and I think next season Chelsea could do all right.
Yeah, I do like the downfall, but yeah, they've been struck with injuries, haven't they? I know everyone's had their fair share, but they have had a lot of injuries there as well. So
yeah.
Stick with. No real. It was pretty split. Watkins 60, Palmer 32. Do you reckon Son owners they'll be pretty happy? They're up ahead, aren't they? 1.8 or Isak owners 1.3.
Yeah, I think obviously Son owners have Son captainers have got the advantage, haven't they, so far with the second game. Isak's not bad, is it? You got 30 points for a single. Decent.
Reckon without score with Palmer? Or are you a bit worried now?
He's capable, isn't he? It could that Chelsea Spurs game could be 5-5. Honestly, it could be an absolute hockey score, that game.
It's just again with Son as well, wasn't it? It's just like the importance of bringing in the pen takers, because I've lost count now. I feel like I've had one every week for however many weeks now. Could be a day, could maybe not. Ben, not much change on the fixture ticker. Want to take us through next week?
Yeah, not much, not many doubles next week, is there? For game week 34. Obviously, Aston Villa have their second leg next week, so they'll be playing Brighton away and Olympiacos away. We've still got to wait to see how they get on in the first leg at home on Thursday. But yeah, will you be interested in bringing any Villa players in next week, or are you going to wait and see how they get on in the first leg?
You go, Tony.
Yeah, I definitely want to see how they're going to get on. If they get a decent advantage from that first game, I think I'd be more inclined then to bring them in for the 34 double. If they're trailing and then they're having to go to what is a pretty tough place to go, Olympiacos. Probably less likely. I'll probably then plan for 35 instead, with the look of City and United going into that cup final. Yeah, it's tricky. We need to know what happens in this first leg. But yeah, if Villa do well, possibly bring one in.
It's hard, isn't it? Because I mean, we've got the Edison injury now. After today,
I've been cursed with keepers, honestly, all season. Just whatever keeper. How many keeper injuries can you have?
I know, yeah.
Then Martinez obviously went off this week. He's going to miss the Olympiacos first leg this current week anyway, isn't he? But yeah, he went off injured in the Chelsea game.
Did he go off injured, or was they giving Olsen a run out? I couldn't gauge what they'd done.
They're saying it's injury, hamstring injury.
Right, so he is injured then.
Yeah. But yeah, I did when I first saw it. I was sort of half watching the game and doing some other stuff, and I sort of thought, surely they're not going to think, oh, we're ahead. We'll give Olsen a few minutes. No, it was injury. It was injury, which is a shame. He would have been someone that I maybe would have looked at making a move for, potentially. Yeah. Outside of Watkins and Konsa, there's not really anyone that I'm that interested in. I didn't think that sort of Bailey really impressed massively. I think he had one decent shot, and then again, Douglas Luiz hasn't been doing it recently.
What about that Rodgers? Grabbed himself a goal again.
I downplayed him, didn't I, when you two were talking him up on the stream? He done well. Would you go there? Do you think you would? For a week?
I mean, I'm getting to a point where I'm getting desperate. So, yes, would I go there? Probably not. But it's tricky. It's tricky with the likes of Bailey, Diaby, Rodgers. He's obviously got Zaniolo and the likes. It's tough to pick somebody that you know is going to play the two. You know, David Luiz, probably McGinn always starts. But McGinn can get hooked early sometimes. Seen that, which puts me off him a little bit. Konsa.
He grabbed an assist, but it was a fluky one, McGinn.
It was a fluky one.
A little bit.
He does get points though, McGinn. He's got a decent haul this season.
Brighton are in trouble. They're facing Brighton, aren't they, next week? Brighton away, Olympiacos away. Brighton have just conceded 3 to Bournemouth, 4 to Man City.
Yeah.
I saw someone tweet. I think it might have been Planet FPL had tweeted that if Everton hadn't have got their points deduction, they'd be on level points. I think it is with Brighton.
Yeah.
De Zerbi, is he a fraud? Let us know.
I think it's ever since he got them City and Liverpool links, he's
gone to his head.
Gone backwards. They have gone backwards, Brighton, to be fair.
They do play good football, but
lovely football.
They don't have a plan B. They just do the same thing every week. It doesn't matter who they're playing; they just play the same way every week. I mean, in a way, it's a good thing, so the players know what they're doing. But when you're playing top sides, you can't play that way against them. You know, when you're playing Liverpool or Man City, they're just going to smother you. You can't play that.
Another one that's been battered with injuries as well, I must say. Van Heck out as well now, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Did you know he used to play for Rovers? He were brilliant for us.
Another one.
They're all over. And you're just wondering how the hell have Rovers not got promoted? There's all these players that we've had that are there now, living it up in Premier League while we're struggling at base end of in Championship.
With your moves going forward, obviously this 34 looks pretty self-explanatory with just the double for Brighton and Olympiacos. With your remaining moves, are you going to look for maybe ones only that have got doubles or extra fixtures? So maybe playing the cup final or maybe in that 35 double?
Yeah, that's what I'm gearing towards. Obviously, you got Spurs have Burnley, but then tricky one at City. Chelsea have Notts Forest and Brighton. So, my Nicholas Jackson, you're all laughing now. he might do all right there. But to be fair, Forest, I tell you what, they're a decent side. They give City a good game today. So, they're not the pushovers that they look at on paper. But yeah, doublers, you've got to, haven't you? This stage of the season, look at the games, look at the game counts. You've got to maximise fixtures. But what are you doing, Ben?
8 transfers left. I had a look earlier, like trying to get my team to the Game Week 37. And if there's no injuries, you probably could mess about with a couple of transfers. Getting your in my team, I don't know about you, but yours, but you might be able to do the odd punt on something. But there isn't really any standout differential punts next week. Maybe Newcastle away at Burnley, but Burnley are doing all right now, aren't they? They're trying to hold on. But yeah, Sheffield United have got Forest. I'm not bringing a Forest player in. So there's no like Luton have got Everton. Everton's on a bit of a roll, 3 wins and a trot. And they've got Sheffield United the week after that. Do you fancy a bit of Calvert-Lewin?
Yeah, a bad shout.
But I don't think I'll go there. I don't know. Where we got Brentford, Ivan Toney's got Fulham and then Bournemouth. But I don't know. There's nothing really exciting me.
Yeah.
Maybe just prepare for 35. Maybe do a punt in 35 and get your team ready for 37.
Are you going to be going Jackson in 35?
How would you say it? No.
I'll have the decision to whether to stick. It'll be similar to whether to stick with Son or not, because Burnley home, City home. The Burnley fixture, I think he absolutely smashed it against Burnley in the other leg, because they are one of them teams that just play that high line, don't they? Under Company, and then City, they always do an all right job against City. But it will mean probably taking out Saka this week after his good haul, so that's a tough one. I've got a question here from Gaz in the chat. I don't know if any of you have got it to hand, but it says, is it 100% certain that we get 2 transfers for game week 37? And I know the sort of doubt comes from last season, doesn't it? Because they didn't. How did it work? Didn't they chuck the extra fixture on in the end? There was one cup final, and when we used to get 5 transfers a week, it was into a new month, but they didn't give us our new 5, did they? In the end, they sort of just threw it out there a week before, or a couple of weeks before, that we wouldn't get the extra transfers. Can you see any reason why they wouldn't just give us the normal 2? Because it's a weekly basis now, isn't it?
I messaged them and they said that Game Week 37 is a new game week. Obviously, because at the start of the season we only had 36 game weeks. But now I messaged them and they said there's a game week in 37 where the FA Cup and then the European Cup finals are just all in one. If there was a Champions League final for like Man City or Arsenal, it would have been on June the 1st, and they would have just added it on to game week 37. But obviously now hopefully we've got the Europa Conference League final, which is on Wednesday 29th. So that'll be after the FA Cup final. So there is going to be an extra game week this time. Last time, like you said, they just added the FA Cup onto the end of the Premier League's last game week, and the Champions League final, they added it on. So there was like a 1 week game week? It was so stupid. And we were just stuck there where you couldn't do anything for 3 weeks. And you just literally, whatever you did on the last game of the Premier League season that's it. That's your team.
Yeah.
So, 2 more. We've had it.
8 more transfers then.
Yeah. Hope that helps. I've seen that question a lot from a few different people. They scarred us guard us last season. Right. If you've enjoyed so far, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. If you do want to become a Patreon member, there'll be a link in the description below. You get early access to the podcast, like our Patreon members are getting now in the chat. You get access to our Discord community. I think we've got over 80 managers on there, chatting on a daily basis. We've got updated player watch lists, exclusive Dream Team articles. That's about it. And then we've also got another link to some lovely merch from footyfits.co.uk. We've got Dream Team Tonic, hoodies, tumblers, and mugs. And you got some England merch and some unofficial team merch.
Oh, everything on there, mate. And if there's not on there, just drop us a message and we'll do you what you want.
Tony will sort you out. Our very own Tony is the founder of Footy Fits, if you didn't know that already.
Yeah, and if you're interested in playing the Euro game, that will be out in just before the end of the season. I think around May time. We'll be covering that in the Discord and obviously getting ready for it, getting all our tips in there. So if you want to join the Patreon, that'd be more than welcome.
Yeah, if you are listening on YouTube and stuff, and you're not listening live with the patrons, like Ben says, the Euro game's coming up pretty much straight after, isn't it? It's like a 13-day from the Champions League final to the start of the Euros. It's crazy. But yeah, we'll be trying to get as many articles, hints, tips, and stuff up there ready for the Euros and get all our Patreon members prepped as well as we can to attack that Euro game.
And we'll have some mini leagues, won't we, as well?
Yeah, big cash mini leagues, to be Patreon mini leagues, like Patreon only, so a little bit different. You know, we're playing against the managers that's in the Discord, and yeah, we'll have some good fun throughout the summer, which means we're not having a rest this summer. We're just podding through, aren't we?
Yep.
No rest.
We don't need no rest. It's all good fun.
Yeah, just wait until them summer barbecues hit.
Quickly back to Gaz. Gaz has said Dream Team haven't actually come out and said that we've got those extra 2 transfers. So if anyone at Dream Team headquarters is listening or watching,
yeah,
come out there, stick it out in a tweet, stick it out in one of your little newsletter updates. Tell us we've got that extra 2 transfers. We need that peace of mind. Let us know. Talking points. Talking points. The first one. Are United the most exciting team in the league? Who's wrote this? I'm not responsible.
That's what Ten Hag has said.
That's
what Ten Hag said. Did you see his interview?
I missed that, but to be fair, they are pretty exciting. It's like a basketball match every match, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Rubbish.
I said, yes, we are the most exciting team in the league. Yes.
I mean, he's got a point. He's got a point. They do attack quite well. They can't defend for Toffee. But then he also comes out and says, next season that there's no chance they can compete, which isn't what your fans, your players, anyone connected to the club wants to hear. Especially your Man United. Come on, Ten Hag, get a grip, mate.
Will he have a next season?
With the changes of the hierarchy, I think they're going to change manager. I think he's had long enough to implement something. And do you think United have an identity? I don't think they do. I still think they seem like they're stuck in this just stuck in a rut.
We've still got to play them, so I don't want to say anything bad about them.
I mean, they're dangerous on the day. Like he says, they can attack well. They can attack quite excitingly, but to come out and say that you're not going to be able to compete next season it's pretty much just signing your own death warrant. You've got to go. If you haven't got the ambition to try and push that club and that squad up towards the top 2 and try and win the league, it's always got to be your goal to win the league. And you never come out publicly and say otherwise. Surely not. I just don't think that's what a Man United manager should be saying.
We've all got Bruno. They're one of the 35 doublers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Can you see yourself adding another, or is that it? Arsenal and
no, I've touched on them. Because I say with some of the players, it's not just about clean sheets, is it? Like Dalot and Maguire have done all right. Maguire back-to-back goals in the last 2 games, and Garnacho's done well. Anthony so far this week, top scorer. I won't bring in Anthony. Garnacho's a decent option. Yeah. But yeah, I am toying with Garnacho, Maguire, Dalot. Yeah.
Onana?
Well, I might need a keeper, but I hate making keeper transfers.
You might have transfers coming out your ears, mate, at the end to get that point. So you might end up putting him in, but nah.
I'd like to see Charlie's views on United's performance against Burnley.
Well, we'll go to Charlie. We'll go to Charlie first. He's asked, can we all recommend a single game week player and put them in our team? Now is he trying to throw other managers off here? What's this about? Or do we actually want a single game week player next week? You got your eyes on any single game week players you might bring in for next week, and that you'll put in your team?
Well, there's not really any double game week plays to go for, is there?
Yeah, there's only Villa.
Are you going to bring in any Villa where obviously we don't know what's going to happen yet, because obviously we've got the midweek game yet before the next deadline.
Yeah.
But they've got 4 games guaranteed after this game week in game week 34, while Man City, Man United have 5. I'd rather put a Man City player in than put a Villa player in, even if they've got the double next week. Okay, if they win that one and they're easy through, they'll still only have 5 fixtures to Man City and Man United's 5. So I think I'd rather have a Man City player and just go for a single game week player anyway next week and just plan ahead now. Like I said, when I did look at it and see how many transfers I want to get to my best team, it is. I think I only need 6 transfers for the rest of the season to get to the team I want. So is there a couple of punts in there? And maybe I could bring a Villa player in. Just one Villa player in, maybe a Bailey next week, and then moving back out again the week after when he plays Liverpool in a single at home. Could do that, but I think Man City's the way to go if you're going to get some players in for the rest of the season. They've got 5 games left.
Yeah, played well, unbeaten, flying, top team, best team in Manchester, easily.
It's an easy one for me. I've got a single game week player that I'll be bringing in next week. Definitely into my team.
Go on.
Erling Haaland.
Yeah, that's nice and easy.
Bringing him back. Quick shout out to Charlie Choyne, one of our Patreon members, because he has pulled off a selfless act as well this week of inviting one of his mates into the Patreon, into the Discord.
He's mini
salute you, sir. Salute you.
One of his mini league rivals. So Stephen Lewis, thank you very much for signing up to the Patreon. Invited by one of his rivals, Charlie Choyne. So that's
I hope he's not inviting him to gang up on me.
Yeah, getting the Man U
2 for 1.
But cheers, Stephen, and cheers, Charlie, for that. Graham has asked, when you brought in Jackson, was you waving the white flag there after a bit of a dodgy week?
Honestly, it did affect me mentally, that dodgy week. I'm not gonna lie. It was hard to take, being so close and then a bit of a kick at balls. But no, it's I wanted to try something different. Son didn't do well for me the last couple of times I brought him in, so I made the change quite late. And I mean, if Jackson's call for onside, I don't want to talk about it. Well, if my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle and giving it all that. But he's hit the post, he's had a goal disallowed, he's been involved, he's still not got a fixture yet. And they've got enough fixtures now. So it was a long-term selection as well. So, he's got fixtures. They look good on the break, Chelsea. They've got quite a lot of pace up top. Cole Palmer's back. Madueke's looking good. I think they can make chances for him. I know he might need 4 or 5 to put on away, but, he could bang. He could bang, and nobody's got him. There's only me in the top 100 who's got him. So if he does bang, happy days.
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? That when we looked at the top 100 on Saturday, you were the only person who had him in the top 100.
Yeah. Rewind. If you rewind, 2-3 months ago, I'll always tell you that I'm not going to play it safe. I want to try and win. I want to try and get as high as I can. I don't want to try and hold rank. I don't care if I finish 150th at the end of the year. I'd rather that than have been 40th and not gone for it and just gone completely template and stayed 40th. I'd rather drop to 150th. So, yeah, no white flag yet, but It was a tough one. Yeah, Graham, tough. I just need a pee.
No worries.
I'll see him free.
I must admit, I had a bit of the same scenario when I brought Son in this week, because I was kind of like, I'd gone up to my highest rank of like 150, and I keep sort of battling myself with like, you don't get anything for being 150th. Do you just attack it a bit more aggressively, or do you just try and like get your best finish? But yeah, I think Tony inspired it a little bit to try and get a bit more aggressive with it.
Good. I think you should, mate. I think there's no point just sitting around 150th.
Yeah.
I think you've got to go for it. Like you say, you're winning your main mini league, aren't you? So
yeah,
you should go for it and try and get as high as rank as you can.
Raya up next. Tony's made this slide. Used to play for Rovers. I think he probably can still hear while he's having a piss.
I wish he'd bloody piss off back to Rovers. Bloody not. What's he doing? What was he doing? Trying to play a left-footed pass? And I don't know. That's cost us about 15, 16 points there.
Are we both on 3?
Yeah, I've got 3. So yes, but we've got 1 point for each player, and we could have got an extra 6 for each player. So 18 points.
Well, I've heard a theory of what happened, really. So we were cruising at 3-0, weren't we? At half time. And obviously, it's really demoralising for Spurs to be 3-0 down. But Spurs have still got City to play. And so the theory goes that Raya wanted to encourage these Spurs players, give them a bit of courage before their match against City. So he gave them the goal. It gave them a little bit of a boost, and they've come away from this. Although we got the 3 points, they've come away from this feeling pretty good ahead of their game against City. So, what do you reckon?
I think that's load of tosh.
That sounds convincing, don't it?
What is he doing that? Honestly, it's absolutely crap.
And we've got this is gonna go. I'm gonna try and tell it with a bit of not too much info, but I was texting you lads. I wasn't joking. I put in the chat in our Discord that it was squeaky bum time at that point, and we'd got to like 94 minutes. I think it was that final corner. I think it got to about 90 minutes, and I know squeaky bum time's a saying, but I felt in a bad way in those last few minutes before the when added time was in play, and it went for that corner. And I had to get up off the sofa and sort of stand at the bottom of the stairs and watch them put the corner in. My girlfriend was next to me. She said, "What are you doing?" I was like, "No, I do actually. I need the toilet bad." I managed to control myself till the final whistle, and I was gone. I was out of there, straight up the stairs. But yeah, squeaky bum time is real, people. It's getting to me. Are you moving Raya on, any of you, or are you going to stick with him?
I've got him. I'm just going to hold him for now. Obviously, Arsenal are one of the best defences in the league. Only 3 games left now, but Bournemouth next week at home, I think you got to hold him for that. And just see how you go with it. Hopefully, no injuries. And if there is an injury, maybe move him on. But Martinez come off early. Ederson's come off early. There's not many options now unless you go for the second choice keeper that's going to play. Ortega was going to play the FA Cup final as well. So, yeah, we'll see what the news is. But I can't see me moving Raya on this week. Definitely not.
Tony, hold. Oh no, you're not. You're an Ederson.
I'm on Ederson.
We've got a question from. We've got a question. We'll incorporate the question from Nathan then. So Nathan's question is best Ederson replacement. so we're on Raya. We're staying. What are you doing?
I mean, it depends on other things elsewhere. I think he might get moved on this week. I move him on if his injury's a couple of weeks. Then obviously it's straight to Ortega. If not, I mean, Onana comes into my thinking because of the amount of games. And I mean, to be fair, with United, it's not about the clean sheets. It's just about he gets peppered, doesn't he? So he does get a few save points. So I don't really want to change my keeper, if I'm honest. I'm hoping. I think we heard that he's come out in a sling, hasn't he, Ederson?
Yeah. It's just worrying. If you change to Ortega and then for whatever reason it changes back again and then...
Yeah.
But there's not that many games and he'll get the final, so maybe they just stick.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good keeper, Ortega. Yeah, if I do change, it's probably to Ortega.
Or Onana got a 5-pointer, a 6 saves in a 1-1 draw. Did you just take it?
I mean, how's Onana getting 6 saves against Burnley? What's going on?
Right. So Ryan Driver, if Villa get a good result against Olympiacos and look like qualifying for the final, which 11 players will we be aiming for the final game at 37?
Fuck.
I've not planned this far ahead of you guys.
No.
No, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you on here anyway.
Cards close to the chest at this point.
No, I'd be happy to tell you, but I really don't know. I really don't know that's injuries, form.
Yeah, the game doesn't feel like it goes that way at the moment that you can plan that far ahead. Every week, I feel like I'm responding to something that's happened the week before.
Yeah, I think it's a 1 to 2 week game now. It used to be probably a 3 to 4 week game where you're planning. Well, you're planning for the month, really. We used to sit there and look, right, such a team has 7 fixtures and such a team has 4 fixtures, so we'll move from there to there. And that's pretty much what we did. If you had an injury, it was tough titty. Yeah.
Would it be fair to just say that the sort of overall tactic that maybe you guys would be sticking to is if you looked at the fixture ticker now and you saw there's a load of teams, including Arsenal, Liverpool, that are on 3 fixtures, would it sort of be fair to say that you'll just look to maybe gradually bring in City and United and Villa because they could have finals, plus people that double in 35? That's about as far as you can look, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the sensible way to look at it. You've got some people like that's what we say about like Isak being a decent shout because he's got a double coming up. Son, same, he's got a double coming up. Jackson, Cole Palmer, like Chelsea assets, they've got the double coming up. it is all about fixture quantity now. I mean, it always is, but I mean, even more so now. You've got a minimum amount of games. So like Arsenal running out of games, Liverpool running out of games. Yeah, you've got to play them extra fixtures. You don't want to be caught out by somebody hitting a hattie in a game that you've not attacked.
34 next week. Captain picks. This from Nathan Wisby. Are any of you going to go against Watkins? Because I mean, Villa are the only ones that double. So, is there anyone outside of Watkins that you may consider?
Go on, Ben.
Well, you got Haaland. He's got Wolves at home. You got Saka. He's got Bournemouth at home. Isak, Burnley away, something like that, or yeah, not really much else. Calvert-Lewin, Luton. No, honestly, yeah, I think it's if you want to try and maximise the points. Obviously, Aston Villa's got the double game week, but we know players like Saka and Haaland can score big with. Saka can get the bonus and the tackles and the assist, big chance created, and then Haaland can just get 2 or 3 goals in a game. So, yeah, obviously Isaac's got good fixtures to the end of the season. He could be a decent shout, but it's an away game. So, yeah, there's maybe Palmer. Could he turn up again? Yeah, West Ham at home?
I was only going to throw Palmer and Son in there. Son away to Liverpool.
I think you could bring in a Douglas Luiz on penalties and captain him, maybe, or bring in a Douglas Luiz, captain a Haaland or a Palmer or somebody else, and then hope Watkins is a little bit quiet and Douglas Luiz gets a couple of penalties and you can profit that way.
Yeah, I think if you're going to do that,
attack it, but it's going to be brave to take on the Watkins captaincy.
Yeah. I was just going to say, if you are going to do that, just make sure you've got Watkins in your team. So it's only half.
Sorry. Yes. I was just saying it as if everyone had Watkins, to be fair.
But, you only get half punished then if he does go off.
Yeah.
We had 3 good options this week in Palmer, Watkins and Son. And 60% of those went for Watkins anyway, so the percentage is going to be 90 plus, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
95 plus. If you wanted to chase,
imagine you take it on with a Haaland who scores a hat trick and Watkins gets injured first game.
I just think if you're chasing in your mini league and you want to do something different, just surely wait a week and then you can choose from City double, United double, Newcastle double. Just I feel like wait one more week and then go.
Yeah, it's too obvious. It's too obvious, isn't it?
Yeah. VVD replacements, real quick. Have we all got him? I've still got him.
Yeah, he survived. I was going to bring in Konza. So VVD replacements: Konza, Gallo, Maguire, Gvardiol, Kyle Walker. I would have said Gusto, but he's not been playing, has he? So
yeah, doubt.
Injured, yeah.
Any to add, Ben?
I think I'd be looking at a Man City defender. Like he's just covered Walker or Gvardiol. I'm not keen on the Villa defence. 2 away games. And I'm saying, like I say, looking longer term, Man City's got 5 games left, so Villa's got 4 guaranteed, possibly 5 if they get through. And then they've got that Liverpool at home after that. So, yeah, I like Man City's fixtures. They've got Wolves, Fulham, Tottenham away, West Ham at home, Man United in the FA Cup final.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I was liking City. City more than Villa.
But Man City defenders are not guaranteed to play every game. That's the only problem.
Yeah. Hence why we probably just mentioned Gvardiol, who seems to have nailed that spot a little bit. And obviously Walker has always had that right back spot nailed. The centre halves.
Obviously, Ruben Diaz missed another game with illness after last week missing. I would have. I thought Diaz was going to probably start every game after that.
Yeah.
It's good to know that it was illness, though, because I would have thought he was back in this week.
Yeah.
If he was just missing another game for no reason, then you're thinking, oh.
But then, obviously, it's off the back of De Bruyne being ill as well. Don't forget, the Real Madrid game, he was ill. And then all of a sudden you're having this like little like, I don't know, repetition of illness throughout the camp. Foden, Diaz, one to keep an eye on, isn't it?
Palmer had it. Me and you had it.
Yeah.
It's going about, people.
Yeah.
Stock up on Lemsip.
We cracked on though, didn't we?
Yeah, we wouldn't miss a game.
No, I mean, we're not getting paid enough, are we?
Triple Arsenal, still good even though they have a single. Virgil van Dijk is my priority to get out first. I don't think Bournemouth at home is a bad single by any means, but eventually, if I've got nothing to do, I'll be moving some Arsenal on gradually. You Ben, you've got 3 as well.
Yeah, like you say, not a bad fixture, and I wouldn't be bothered if I had Arsenal till the end of the season. Really, Bournemouth at home, Man United away, and Everton at home. Obviously, no doubles in there, but they're just solid, aren't they, Arsenal? I mean, if Ray didn't mess about with a bloody ball at the back, they would have got another clean sheet today. He just messed it up. What? Anyway, why was Romero like standing there?
Honestly, I thought it was Son at first because I just seen the 7 and I seen him put it in. And I'm like, oh, fuck off. No, not Son. And then it was he's number 17, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, all right, Romero. What the hell is he doing there?
I feel like it was
strange.
He'd lost his head a little bit, and he was doing that thing where he was like, I feel like he's trying to G everyone up, and he's like, well, I'm going to do this on my own if no one else is doing it. And then somehow the ball just landed to him.
I mean, he did it.
He had a
nice finish as well, bottom corner.
Yeah, it was. You know what? He had a decent game, to be honest. He put in some good tackles as well.
Hit the post as well, didn't he?
He's had such a good turnaround because from being complete heads gone on multiple games, all those red cards and bookings, he's packed it in, and it's not.
Well, when they signed him,
he's packed it in. He's just not getting sent off for it. He's so hot-headed, isn't he? Yeah, he's brilliant. You want him on your side rather than against you.
When they signed him, he won the best defender of the year in the Serie A, didn't they? So he's obviously got the pedigree.
He's a quality centre half when he's on it.
He put in a slide tackle against, I think it might have been Havertz, and he slide tackled him. Havertz was on the ground, and then he looked like he was just going to kick Havertz. He swung his leg and just put it over the top of him, but I was like,
Yeah, I'm not saying sorry, mate. I hope you're all right. Yeah. I'll just give you a little teaser of that. I'm going to give you a bit. Yeah, brilliant.
Proper RG.
How many Villa players do you jump on with them doubling? I kind of feel like we sort of covered it, but are you going to add any more? I've got Watkins, and I'm not that bothered.
I might add Konza. I might. It all depends about this first. I want to see how they play against Olympiacos this first leg. I don't know much about Olympiacos anymore. They're not as big as they used to be. I'd expect the team sat 4th in the Premier League, comfortably sat 4th as well. Should be able to see off Olympiacos.
Olympiacos are currently 4th in the Greek top flight.
They are. I reckon Rovers would give them a game, man.
Yeah, I'm tempted to bring in Bailey, but I probably won't. Just depends on how they get on in the first leg. It's another thing as well. Like if they do win pretty handsomely in the first game, Bailey will get rested, so he'll be on the bench waiting to come on. So yeah, it's not great. And if they're chasing, do you really want to bring him in? And then they're possibly only going to have the 4 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tricky one.
I think Tielemans got injured, so it's one less body in that midfield. But
yeah, like that probably extends McGinn's minutes because he's usually one who gets hooked.
What would you do with Rodri if you had him? So this is CCFC Jack. He's currently got him. He's got more games than anyone else, but he hasn't returned very well since he's had him, and he doesn't like the idea of getting rid of Saka. Would you keep Rodri if you had him?
Yeah. I think you've committed. If you've got him in your team already, you've got to leave him though. You can't be taking out somebody who's got 2, possibly 3 more fixtures than other teams. It's not what you want to do. So yeah, I'd keep him.
Yeah, it's tricky, that one. Saka's got 19 goals and 16 assists this season. Rodri's got 8 goals and 12 assists. So he's doing pretty well considering he's a defensive midfielder. But he's got the 5 games left to the Arsenal's 3. If you're looking longer term, Saka's averaging 7.9 overall and Rodri's averaging 5.4. But obviously, if Rodri has more games and he's getting those 5.4 over Saka's 7.9, he would beat him over the average over 5 to 3 games. But it ain't that simple, is it? It don't work out like that. But yeah, that Bournemouth fixture's nice and that Everton fixture's nice for Saka. But yeah, I probably would go for Rodri just because of the extra games.
It's just hard without knowing the rest of the team who he's trying to fit in instead of him. Like if next week if he didn't already have a Watkins or he didn't have Haaland, you've got to make that move, haven't you? And then it's hard.
Yeah.
What would you do?
I think I probably would. I mean, I think he's a decent pick. I think if you've got him, you do stick with him. But yeah, I wouldn't want to take Saka out ahead of Bournemouth currently. He looked really good today, and he's not.
No, there's no need to do it this week, is there?
He's not limping at the minute.
There's no need to do it this week.
Yeah,
you just hold both of them this week, don't you?
Yeah, it's just if he is trying to bring in the Haaland, if the decision is between Saka, Rodri, and Haaland, then someone's going. Yeah. If it's a Watkins or a Haaland you're trying to bring in, then you're gonna have to make the decision, I think.
If you want to CCFC Jack, if you want to drop us a private message on Discord,
the full team.
And then we'll just have a fair look at that. Just make a better decision on that.
Gaz has just chucked a little bit more. On the Olympiacos. Olympiacos have lost away to Freiburg and West Ham without scoring in the group stages.
Yeah, it's a good start. Yeah, nice one for that, Gaz Paul. Does that make Konza more appealing?
Maybe. Lee Doc, Saka, Fernandez, Palmer. You can only have 2 for next week. Who doesn't make it?
Well, in my team, Saka doesn't make it because he's already been ousted. Saka's got a nice fixture, hasn't he? Tricky one for United, Crystal Palace. Out of those 3, if you had the choice, I'd keep Palmer and Saka.
Ben?
What was the options again?
Saka, Fernandez, Palmer. Can only get 2 next week. Who doesn't make it?
So one's got to go. One's got to go.
You've got to go, mate.
I'm guessing he hasn't got. I'm guessing he hasn't got any of them. He wants to bring 2 of them in. Is that right?
All right.
Hang on.
Well, Man United have 5 games left. So, but they play Crystal Palace, Arsenal at home, Newcastle at home, Brighton away, and Man City in the Cup. Is that even an extra game playing Man City in the Cup?
Yeah, see, but that changes it, doesn't it? That changes the question. I can only get 2 next week.
That's right. He hasn't got any. He's got none of them.
So he's bringing them in.
If
he's bringing them in, I would bring in. No, I'd stay same Saka and Palmer, and then bring in Fernandes the week after for Saka.
Yeah, because
I think Saka and Palmer have the better fixtures this week.
Palace away is horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like that fixture for United.
Yeah.
Not we having Wharton in Middle Park.
If you're bringing them in, I think I agree. If you're bringing them in, Saka and Palmer, and then you can move Saka on next week for Bruno Fernandes. But if it's a longer term punt, then obviously I probably would leave Saka out and have Palmer and Bruno Fernandes if you owned all 3 and you had to get rid of one.
Because they both double the week after, don't they?
Yeah. Got to have the doubles.
I'm going to shout Lee Doc out right now because he's got 75 points for the game week. I'm just having a nosy at his team because I know that it was in our Patreon Cup because I faced him. He's got Vardiol, Akanji, both with the clean sheets. Bought Isak in this week, and he's captained Watkins. They're on 75 points. Well played. I think I agree. I mean, if you're going to just do it as a 1 weeker, I'd get Saka and Palmer. But if you just want to save yourself a transfer and aim for the doublers, Bruno and Palmer, I think. I just mentioned Vardo and Akanji. David 87, 3 clean sheets in a row for City now, albeit fortunate against the wasteful Forest. Is it time to load up on their defenders and move on Arsenal with the fixture volume? If yes, rank those defensive assets from City.
I just want to get this off my chest as well because I forgot about this, but I feel absolutely robbed that I didn't get that Ederson clean sheet today.
Oh, yeah.
It's just another thing, another nail in my coffin. But yeah. The amount in the clean sheets up, like I've slagged them off all season, the defensive assets, because obviously they don't score other than keeping clean sheets, but you've got decent fixture volumes, decent fixtures to be fair for City now. You're always going to suffer with rotation, so I don't like going for the centre halves. Hence why earlier I think they're a good choice, but you've got to go for, I think, the most obvious, which is Vardiol and Walker. And then, obviously, at the minute, if you're going to go for the keeper, it's Ortega. But yeah, with the fixture volume, definitely. But I wouldn't move Arsenal's assets on this week. That home game against Bournemouth, good side Bournemouth, mind. Like, I'm not saying that Bournemouth could easily get a couple of goals at the Emirates, but I just think, I'd hold Arsenal for this week and then start to move maybe towards City, United, maybe a little bit of Villa.
Me and you, Ben, are in the same scenario of this with the 3 Arsenal at the back. The Arsenal boys are good for Bournemouth home, aren't they? And then we could, in theory, if we can sort out the rest of the positions, City then double in 35. So you could go with a good Arsenal fixture, Bournemouth, and then try and maybe even, if the rest of your team's looking all right, you could get 2 City doublers in defence in 35.
Yeah.
Just a little bit worried that if it does go wrong for Arsenal, and say we do blow it in one of the fixtures, I think from then on, City then start chucking Rico Lewis in. They're moving all stuff about and then getting ready for the final, aren't they? If it gets wrapped up, it's the only worry. I would agree. Vardiol and Walker for me are the 2. I would have thrown Diaz in, but he's now had that spell of missing games. So I'd go with Vardiol and Walker.
Yeah, I think Vardiol because he's attacking returns recently. I think he's got to be top of the list, and then Walker captain should be nailed right back. And then I do think Diaz will come back in. Obviously, rested the last game. Illness this week. Should be back for the next game. You got John Stones, who can't seem to get a run in the team at the moment. Don't know if he's got a little niggle. Kanji can play everywhere, so he seems to get lots of minutes. If you want to go a bit differential, he can play right backs, left backs, centre midfield. So, yeah, I think they're the ones if you're going to go for defenders. Definitely Guardiola and Walker, the top two.
While we're on City, I feel like we sort of missed this talking point, but are you just going to keep Foden and just the fact that he was missing with illness was just unlucky? You're going to just keep him in? We're probably not going to hear anything.
Yeah, I think obviously they've had something run through the camp, haven't they? That's what it sounds like, and I'm pretty sure he'll be back next game.
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, it was. Didn't KDB had, like we said, KDB had it, missed the game, was back. Palmer had it, missed the game, was back. You just hope he's back, I guess. Then last question before we go on to the mini leagues, we've got General C Conquer in the chat, and he said, "Are you all rushing with your tails between your legs to get the Viking back, or are you being stubborn and staying with your differentials?" But it was just me. We'll do our teams in a minute, but it was just me that took Haaland out. Leave these two guys out of it. They don't want no trouble.
Yeah, What's up, son?
You both stayed with Haaland, didn't you?
Yeah. More, obviously, out of hope that he'd play, and then a little bit more about not wanting to book the transfer in. It's probably cost me about 9 points because I took Saka out. So, but whether that is value for money down the line with not having to transfer Haaland back in, I don't know. We don't know until further down the line. But yeah, I'm glad he come off the bench, got a goal, and he's in my team now. I don't have to transfer him back in. Whereas his ownership is so scarily low. Surely he's like nailed in next week for a transfer.
Yeah, 46% owned. The rest of that are going to be using one transfer on Haaland.
I mean, that's got to be. I tell you, next week that's going to be 96% owned, isn't it?
Yeah, we've all got one move booked in now. It's just whether that one move was worth the tiny extra little bit of points, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. You kick us off, Ben. Obviously, you've got Haaland there. This is your team.
Yeah. Raya, Gabriel, and got 1 point, and Ben White got 2. Thanks to my mate David Raya. Go back to Rovers, will you? Van Dijk, 1 point. He's going next week, definitely. Odegaard, I went for Odegaard. I had Odegaard in my team and Saka, and I wanted to do something a bit different to try and get up the leaderboard. And I sold Saka. I could have sold Odegaard, but yes, Odegaard's been on form the last few weeks. He outscored Saka, so I thought, one more week, one more game. I went Odegaard, and it bit me in the ass. So yeah, 3 points for Odegaard. De Bruyne, 9 points. Fernandes, 8. Foden didn't play. I brought in Palmer and Watkins, and it was humming and ahhing who to captain, and then I decided to go for Palmer just because I think he's got more ways to scoring points. So I've gone for him, and he got me 6 points. And Watkins with Haaland, 8 off the bench, 43 points. I was up to 1.5k before the game week. I've dropped down to 1.8 now, but still some matches to go.
Confident in your captain?
Yeah, I think he'll still do all right.
I think he'll smash it against Spurs.
Yeah, I think it's going to be high scoring.
Yeah, I wouldn't want defenders in that game. Yeah, 42 points so far for me this week. Not great. Ederson missed out on his clean sheet. going off at half-time. It's a bit of a bummer that. Not had much luck with goalkeepers this season. If I look over the course of the year, it's been pretty terrible. Van Dijk, who's on the chopping block, 1 point. Gabriel, 1. Ben White, 2. Foden did not play. De Bruyne, nice 9 points. He's been brilliant since he come back. Cole Palmer, 6 so far, captain. Fernandes, 8 points, stay away. Watkins, 4 games to go. Jackson, an unlucky 2, I'll call it. He should have had a little bit more, but I'm hoping he can do a little bit against Spurs. There's a massive differential from himself. And then Haaland, nice to see him back off the bench with 8 points. 42, 3, 7, 7, 9 overall. I think I've dropped about 80th now. Yeah, still Palmer, Jackson and Watkins to go. Obviously, still hoping for Watkins to be quiet because he's not my captain. But if Palmer and Jackson can do a little bit against Spurs, could massively help me rank. It's fluctuating quite often. Like, there's quite a bit of up and down at the minute with the ranks.
It's tight there, isn't it? Tight in the ranks.
Yeah, it is very tight.
Hey, Scott, only 22 points behind Tony now.
22, is it?
Yeah.
That'll be that'll be Sonny. I mean, pretty much same back 4 as you guys. Different to Tony with Ederson, but Raya, Van Dijk, Gabriel White. Saka with 16 points, who you guys both took out?
Yeah.
Both took out. My dilemma was Saka coming out or Haaland coming out, which I couldn't. I basically decided it on our stream, really. We heard the Salah news that Salah was benched, so I decided to take Salah out for Watkins. I've got Foden, Palmer as my captain, De Bruyne and Fernandes, same as you guys. I really wanted Son this week. Probably not for the Arsenal game, but I mean, if we were going to lose the clean sheet to anyone, him scoring a pen, I don't mind that at all. So 8 points for Sonny, 16 points for Saka, but one game still to go. So I guess the Chelsea one is like a free fixture, basically, isn't it, for me? So yeah, happy with that. 56 points for the game week and up to 147th. So if I can close in on top 100, I'd be happy if Son can do something against Chelsea. Yeah, that's mine.
Your point, mate.
Cash leagues, top 3. Got Paul McNulty in 3rd, Connor Tobin in 2nd, and Silent Pal, the silent assassin, in 1st place. That's gonna stick now. Well played. He's having a decent season there. That's our top 3 in the cash league. Tony, you want to do our second chance?
Yeah, second chance league in 3rd, Baz McCormack. 2nd, G Walker, and top of the shop, Tom Gledhill.
Tag teams, Ben.
Yeah, 3rd place, Connor Story and Scott Harris. 2nd place, the Sky FF Fantasy Football Hub duo, Paul McNulty and Andrew Ferguson, and top of the shop, Baz McCormack and Ben Coles.
They've got it wrapped up, haven't they?
Flying, aren't they? Flying. Patreon Cash League. Got in 3rd, B. Coles, smashing it with his 79 points. Can't believe I ever doubted him. He's back and he's ahead of you, Tony. What you got to say about
that? Hey, no need. Right. I'll be back. Don't worry about it.
I accidentally.
No, it's a massive score that in 79. That's huge.
I accidentally dug him out the other day. I said, blimey, Ben Coles is off the top. So he let me know today that he's back in business. So
yeah,
big shout out for Ben.
Mate. Yeah, fair play, mate.
2nd, D. Tobin. And in 1st, Baz McCormack. Who's taking League One?
Well, I'll take League One. Top 3, G. Payne. In 2nd, M. Warner. Excuse me. That's the Heineken. And in top of League One, El Giles.
Ben,
Tonic Championship. Aaron Wade, third. Second place, Connor Tobin and Tony Sutcliffe, top.
Still top of something.
I'll have to stop getting you to read out the championship, Ben, now, after your promotion.
Come on, straight back up, Leicester City.
And then in third, Ben Coles in the Premier League. Second, O'Higgins, who's currently in the chat. Shout out, Owen. And in first, Baz McCormack, absolutely smashing it at the minute. So, yeah, well played to everyone in our mini leagues.
Bring on the Champions League.
Yeah, that'll be a decent one. That's it, boys.
What about the Patreon Cup? How's it going, the final? Score.
Let's have a look, because Lee already congratulated me on winning the cup before the City game.
It's not over yet, Lee.
Because I had Saka and he didn't have Saka, but he had Haaland and I didn't have Haaland. So he sort of threw the towel in after the Saka performance, but then Haaland has dragged him straight back in the mix. So let's see where we're at currently in the leagues. Patreon Cup week scores. So I'm on 56 points so far. Lee is on 47, so not that much in it still.
Yeah, it's still open.
What's the differences? Let's quickly.
How many doubles you got, and how many doubles has Lee got?
Oh, so he's got Martinez, but obviously he's suspended, isn't he? So he's got Konsa left to play. Oh, he's got Konsa and Watkins, but Palmer's his captain, and Palmer's my captain as well. So that's cancelled out. So it's a straight shootout between Konsa
and how many points?
And Son.
Oh,
what are we saying? Let us know in the chat, guys, who's bringing the cup home. Konsa.
Oh. And how many points have you got? So you've got Son and 9 points.
So yeah, I'm on 56 and Lee is on 47.
So you've got Son and 9 points versus Konsa.
Hey, it's the magic of the cup. And anything can happen. It's the magic of the cup, isn't it?
If you lose it from that point, I'd be very, very shocked.
Good luck, Lee. Good luck in
good luck.
We'll see how it goes. It's coming home. It's coming home.
And just engraving Scott's name on the cup. So anyway,
if this turns out bad,
yeah, you can take that snippet of the video out.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in live. Thanks to our patrons for getting your questions in, letting us know you're in the chat. And then if you're watching this in the future, do leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and you can join our Patreon with the link in the description below. What's the deadline stream? It's a bit thrown out of sync this week. We used to do our Saturday mornings. We haven't actually discussed this, but
Friday,
maybe
Friday night, 7 o'clock deadline.
Is it? Do you know what? I'll tell you what. You're in luck, lads, because I'm off this Friday.
It's Friday, yeah.
What a game! Luton Everton.
Oh, thriller.
Oh, that's what we need. Do a watch along, lads.
I know you're right.
What's the date? Friday the 3rd of May. Shouldn't be deciding this on air, but we'll have a look. We'll have something, surely.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. Well, maybe see you all there. Cheers, everyone.
Yeah. Cheers.
See you on the next one.
Cheers,